What's going on? People of the universe, it's me, Brian Brighton. Mr. Flax, what's your actual name?
Alcides.
Okay, what's your nickname?
Aces.
And we are worth the download. Okay, so today we're actually doing an album review of a particular band called At the Drive-In. There's no car. Is there a car?
There's no car.
I don't know. Anyways, and the album is called Inter Alia?
Inter Alia.
There's literally like spaces.
Yeah, it's in.ter.a.li.a. Yeah, so Inter Alia.
There's no... Yeah, I don't... Something like that. Yeah, so anyways, that's how it is. Okay, so... really, really different for me. I'm not used to this type of music, but you are. And you're actually a fan. And you told me that you had a story to tell.
Well, this is more so about like how I even came to listen to At the Drive-In like way back in the day, because they've been around for a long time, and this album is, I guess, a really long time coming. So for any, At the Drive-In fans, they've been waiting 17 years for this album to drop. So it's obviously one of those comeback, sort of albums, right? So people are still wanting to see if At the Drive-In still has, that sort of, post-hardcore, hard rock, energy still. And my story really is that, the way I came across At the Drive-In was because I actually first listened to the Mars Volta. So the Mars Volta is basically a spin-off band off of At the Drive-In, because they, the band kind of breaks up and, that kind of stuff. So they became the Mars Volta. And the first time I actually listened to them was live in concert, because they opened up for System of a Down when I went to go see them years ago. And so I actually liked their performance a lot. I thought it was a really kick-ass performance. They had a lot of energy. And then that's what got me to listen to more Mars Volta. And then I found out about the At the Drive-In, and then here we are.
Okay, so moving on. Now, in terms of the album, right?
Yeah.
So, was it expected from what you heard 17 years ago? Well, in the other band, you get it.
Yeah. Well, the Mars Volta versus At the Drive-In were two kind of different bands. They're both really hard, but the Mars Volta was a little bit more experimental, I guess you could say, right? It was definitely more of the the kind of
that type of experiment.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that when I heard it. Okay.
And it was cool with Mars Volta was they also sang in Spanish, but
Interesante.
not completely. It was still like an English Spanish mix. It was different, but At the Drive-In was definitely more of that post hardcore like hard rock, and I really liked some of their earlier albums. And so when I saw this album, I was like, when was the last time this even dropped something? So we look back and it was been 17 years since they've dropped anything, right? And so I'm sure like you guys are probably curious if you guys are At the Drive-In fans, right? Whether they still have that energy, and I think they did. I know that for you the energy might have come off as a little bit different than for me, but I think they really brought it with this
what?
album.
You're right about the energy part. I'm not saying it's not it's there's no energy at all. I think that they're actually a very good, well put together band, right? And it's really good sounding in terms of what they produce in this album. I'm just not the fan of this type of music. It's a little too hard for me. Not saying that I'm a wuss. I am saying I'm a wuss. But it's just not my cup of tea. And did I enjoy it? No, because I'm not the fan. Is it good music? Probably for the people who actually like this type of music, yes. So that's how I gotta say about it. I think it's a little bit more of too much noise. But I do have a feeling that they have a hint of like old school in them. And that's just my personal opinion, and I'm pretty sure you can elaborate more about that.
Yeah, so if we're talking about like, did this album, was it like was it like a new modern take on At the Drive-In? No, I don't think so. I think they did keep true to kind of their old sound, and like we said, it's been 17 years since their last album, so back in 2000, right? So obviously 2000 there was a different vibe. There's way more bands I think out there at that time, right? A lot more post hardcore and like new metal and that kind of bands that were out and about at that time. So obviously the band fit in really, really well at that time, right, when it came out. So fast forward 17 years, obviously I think at this point this album would be definitely more for the fans. I don't know if they're really going out there to look for new fans. I think they just have that fan base. And they're just
17 years though, right? So I don't think they're looking to make any type of big money.
No, maybe not. I think there's definitely maybe more of a passion project, because I know there was obviously like some issues within the band that obviously caused them to split, right? And that's when Mars Volta happened, in that whole scene. But coming back to this album though, I think it was really well put together. A good solid standard album. I think 11 tracks all in all. But every track is really really punchy, really in your face. Not too much in terms of experimental. I think it was pretty much just hard in your face rock. That if that's what you're looking for in At the Drive-In, some of kind of like their old stuff, you definitely won't be disappointed with this one. They've definitely brought that back with this one.
pretty much if you need to wake up in the morning, play this album and you'll wake up.
Yeah, it'll definitely wake you
You'll
up.
wake you up.
Or it's a pretty good workout album too, right? It'll definitely get you going. So if you're gonna give it a score then out of 5, what would you give it?
See, for me, because it's unfortunate, right? I want to like this album, but I can't because it's not my cup of tea. So for me, it's gonna be a 1 out of 5 for Mr. Brown.
1 out of 5.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's pretty bad, I know, and I'm gonna get some hate, but please hate on the bottom there. 1 out of 5. What can I say? 1 out of 5 disappointed Brian's.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
All right. And for me, I'm on the complete opposite side of the spectrum because, well, I am the fan. I do enjoy this type of music.
Biased. Biased.
So it will be biased, yeah. All right. And I think that we gotta take a term when it comes to the hip hop stuff. I usually give it a more score,
there you go.
right?
There
For when
you
it
go.
comes to the like factor. So for me, I'm actually gonna give it a 4. 4 out of 5 for this album because it was actually really, really good. I liked it. The first pass around, maybe because I wasn't completely immersed into it, I had to give it a second listen, but at second listen I was like, yeah, this is actually a pretty fucking good album. So, and I had to bring that up because it's in your face and it's just like, yeah, it gets you going. So for me, it's a 4 out of 5 drive-ins.
Drive-ins.
So, so let us know what you guys thought of this album. You know, let us know in the comments what you guys thought of it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? How did you feel about it? So what are we doing next week?
Next week we are doing what are we doing? It's just like, see, we had to decide between Paramore, and Seether. I can't pronounce that. So we're gonna go for Seether, right?
We're doing Seether.
There you go. 'Cause I'm broken. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, so we're doing them. So if you guys are still a fan of talking about 2000s, right? Like early 2000s. That's basically when I think of Seether, I think of back in like 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
Anyways, so obviously subscribe, guys, so you guys know when we drop off that next video. And again, let us know what you guys thought about this album in the comments. And I guess we'll catch you on the next one.
Please make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook.